Finance. Jony Ive, the man behind the creation of the iPhone, teaming up with Sam Altman of OpenAI this week in what could be a potential threat to the big tech companies that are searching for AI supremacy, with Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon all investing internally and externally to achieve those goals. Still with me here to discuss is Hope Kane. I'm really excited, Hope, to get your take on this, the rollout video too, on Sam Altman and Jony Ive's relationship here. How are you thinking about the impact this could have on OpenAI, on these other tech companies?
I mean, what a move, and it's a move we've seen from Sam Altman and OpenAI before. Last year, before Google I/O, they also released another product. And so this is just really their same playbook, but they really upped the ante this year because they announced this acquisition on the second day of Google I/O this week. The company that they acquired is called I/O. So when you go on X, someone noted that if you typed in I/O, it's not Google I/O that comes up, it's this acquisition. And I think with the larger picture for I think Sam Altman and OpenAI is, they're getting into a space that they could really disrupt the rest of big tech. Because if you own the device, if you own the actual entry point into the AI systems that, we're using more and more, there is no reason for you to go and use Gemini or, use Siri, another phone, and to take, this very beloved figure in consumer product tech design, Jony Ive, under their belt. I mean, he's not joining, most of the team is, but that is a huge, huge stake in the ground. And I think to Sam Altman's kind of strategy here, I think he wants to be able to disrupt in a way that Google can't because they're so much bigger at this point.
It also makes me wonder when last night when I was thinking about talking about this, I was thinking of asking you about the competition between OpenAI and Gemini, Google's LLM. But now I'm thinking about how Apple plays into this, given that stock's under pressure after the president's tariff tease this morning on Truth Social. How much does this actually put a risk into the room for Apple with phone dominance?
I actually think that's a great point. And we know that Apple has been under fire this year, has been under pressure because their AI hasn't delivered. Well, if your phones are going to go up in price, if it's going to disrupt your manufacturing supply chain, and you're falling behind on the most important software of the day, of the future, that I actually think it's a brilliant question. And they've got Jony Ive now. We don't know what this device is going to look like, obviously. But yes, now they're really going to be behind on this if they can't get their iPhones to deliver on the AI promise that they've been talking about, for the last 2+ years. So I love that you were thinking about this last night. I think that it's a great connection point. And as we know, Apple, like Nvidia, it used to be one of those stocks when earnings came around, you never wanted to bet against.
Yeah.
But more and more, I mean, they still have performed, fairly well, but more and more, you're seeing the concerns start to creep in, and it's because the software is becoming more, this AI software is becoming more important to their strategy in the future.
And something else that our steward here, executive producer John Hyland, flagged to me this morning, Humane selling to HPE for like $200 million, and that turned out to not necessarily be successful. We also know Jony Ive, he had that AI gadget that was sort of like that pin that was going to be on your chest that didn't necessarily take off as well. So is there a chance that Sam Altman isn't betting on the perfect person for the job?
I mean, I think, it's sort of like the Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it's not exactly, but when you have somebody who is as well known as Jony Ive, when you have somebody that can give you a boost in an area that, OpenAI is still software, in an area that they currently don't have product in, I think it's going to grab a lot of attention for a really, really long time. You're going to get the curiosity, people who are just waiting now for the product announcement. It's going to hang over every single tech company for the next couple of quarters and years, depending on how long it'll take for them to actually release something. And the other interesting thing about Apple, as you mentioned earlier, is they also are looking at their hardware strategy. They have these new glasses that they're planning. That is part of this launch of new hardware. I own a Vision Pro at home. It currently is sitting pretty much unused, but I love being a first adopter with tech. And the problem with the Vision Pro is obviously it's very bulky. They're making kind of this Warby Parker move with kind of Google and with Ray-Ban and Meta of making it smaller. So I think if they can make a splash with those glasses, if Apple can make a splash with those glasses, maybe they have a chance in recouping some of that attention that they've lost.
A first mover advantage on a new form of hardware, potentially.
Potentially.
Hope, thank you so much. Really appreciate